Thank you for subscribing to our channel. Today is Saturday, October 24, 2020. Fox report. Family of missing Seattle hiker urges authorities, Trump to continue search. The family of a missing Seattle professor is pleading with authorities, and President Trump, to press on with a search of the national park where he was hiking as weather clears. Sam Dubal, 33, departed for an overnight hike on October 9 in Mount Rainier National Park. When Dubal didn't show up at the University of Washington for his Monday morning class and meetings, the National Park Service started a search, with help from the FBI and military.
CNN report. Jay-Z launches his very own cannabis line called Monogram. You could say that Jay-Z is on fire. To be blunt, there's not much that the Grammy Award-winning billionaire rapper and entrepreneur doesn't have his hand in. From streaming service founder to music executive to memoir writer, the 50-year-old is adding yet another title to his repertoire. He launched a cannabis line called Monogram Friday. It's a partnership with California cannabis company Caliva. The website teases glossy shots of marijuana, but gives no information on what it will offer or a release date.
Al Jazeera report. U.S. authorities destroy murder hornet nest. The first Asian giant hornet nest found in the United States has been dismantled, authorities in Washington state said on Saturday, a day after the nest was discovered. The Washington State Department of Agriculture, WSDA, said in a statement posted to Facebook, alongside a video that showed dozens of the insects trapped inside a clear, 1-meter cylinder. The hornet's removal came a day after authorities announced the discovery of the nest in a tree cavity in the town of Blaine, near the U.S. border with Canada.
BBC report. Cameroon. Children killed in attack on school in Kumba. Officials in the southwestern city of Kumba blamed Anglophone secessionists for the attack. This has not been independently confirmed. A local education official said the victims were aged between 12 and 14. Parts of Cameroon have been gripped by unrest since Anglophone groups stepped up their push for independence in 2016. Some schools in Cameroon's Anglophone regions have recently reopened following a 4-year shutdown due to threats from separatists fighting for an independent state of Ambazonia.
CNN report. Facebook to researchers, stop using our data. Facebook is trying to scuttle the work of New York University researchers who have played an important role in bringing attention to the company's political ad targeting practices. The researchers collect information about what sorts of political ads that American voters see on the platform. Facebook (FB) demanded in an October 16 letter that the researchers stop collecting Facebook data through a tool NYU developed to track political ads.
Deutsche Welle report. Ethiopia accuses Trump of inciting war over Nile Dam. Ethiopia demanded Saturday that the U.S. clarify remarks by President Donald Trump in which he said Egypt may try to blow up the controversial Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam currently under construction in the East African country. Ethiopian Foreign Minister Gadu Andargachew summoned U.S. Ambassador Mike Rayner to demand an explanation. According to a statement from the ministry, the incitement of war between Ethiopia and Egypt from a sitting U.S. president neither reflects the long-standing partnership and strategic alliance between Ethiopia and the United States nor is acceptable in international law governing interstate relations, read the statement.
Al Jazeera report. Erdogan says Macron needs treatment over attitude to Muslims. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has launched a fresh attack on his French counterpart Emmanuel Macron, saying he needed treatment and mental checks over his attitude towards Muslims and Islam. Earlier this month, Macron pledged to fight Islamist separatism, which he said was threatening to take control in some Muslim communities around France, drawing a sharp rebuke from Erdogan. France has since been shaken by the beheading of a history teacher earlier this month.
BBC report. Venezuela opposition figure Leopoldo López leaves Spanish embassy. His father said Mr. López had gone to Colombia and was now heading for Spain. Mr. López took shelter in the embassy after appearing with opposition leader Juan Guaidó and calling for a rebellion to oust President Nicolás Maduro. He was arrested in 2014 accused of inciting violent political protests. Mr. López, who has repeatedly denied the charges, received a 14-year jail sentence in a military prison.
Deutsche Welle report. Several killed in suicide bombing at Kabul Education Center. A suicide bombing killed at least 13 people and injured more than 30 outside an education center in the Afghan capital Kabul Saturday. Interior Ministry spokesman Tariq Arian said the explosion occurred in a mainly Shiite Hazara-dominated area in the western part of the city. A suicide bomber wanted to enter the education center, said Arian, but he was identified by the center's guards, after which he detonated his explosives in an alley.
CNN report. Scotland tells families not to trick or treat this Halloween because of COVID-19. The Scottish Government says families should celebrate Halloween at home this year instead of going trick-or-treating to minimise the spread of COVID-19. It urged people to avoid guising, or going door-to-door for treats. In a news release issued on Saturday, Deputy First Minister John Swinney said that the guidance was needed to make sure people follow the restrictions on indoor and outdoor gatherings.
CNN report. Battle-hardened Illinois health official is shaken by latest COVID-19 surge. The scale of the COVID-19 pandemic is exposing the battle scars of the country's most hardened public health officials. Illinois Department of Public Health Director Dr. Ngozi Ezike began to cry and paused her remarks, her back to the podium, during a Friday briefing in which she reported new coronavirus deaths and thousands of additional cases. Since yesterday, we lost an additional 31 lives, for a total of 9,418 deaths, she said.
Fox report. Vietnam POW and Michigan native Donald Digger Odell dies at 86. Donald E. Digger Odell, an Air Force fighter pilot who was a prisoner of war in Vietnam for more than 5 years after being shot down in 1967, died Thursday in Michigan. He was 86. Lt. Col. Odell was an American hero and inspiration to several generation of airmen, said Brig. Gen. Rolfe E. Mammon, commander of the 127th Wing and Selfridge Air National Guard Base. He was always a friend to those who wear our nation's uniform.
BBC report. Thai king in rare praise for pro-monarchists. King Maha Vajiralongkorn thanked the man who had held up a portrait of his late father. Correspondents say this gesture may be a royal endorsement for those willing to come out and support the monarchy. The monarchy has not previously commented on protests that have begun to raise questions about its role. King Vajiralongkorn lives more in Germany than in Thailand, and when he is in Bangkok he typically presides over formal occasions in which there is little opportunity for interaction with ordinary people. The BBC's Jonathan Head reports from Bangkok.
Fox report. Berkeley, California. Police offer $50 G reward in pregnant teen shooting death. 2 days after a pregnant teenager was gunned down in her car, police in Berkeley, Calif., are offering a $50,000 reward in the killing. Police believe Serenate Henderson, 19, a hairstylist, was targeted but don't know why. Fox 2 San Francisco reports. Police announced the cash reward Friday. There may be individuals who have information about this crime, and we are asking for the public's help, police spokesman Byron White said.
Al Jazeera report. A new Iran deal is unlikely regardless of who wins in November. How will the outcome of the November 3 presidential election affect Iran's relations with the United States? If incumbent President Donald Trump gets re-elected, will Tehran be forced to return to the negotiating table and accept whatever deal he offers, as he often claims? Or does Joe Biden, who recently called for the easing of economic sanctions on Iran, have a better chance of securing a new deal with the country?
Deutsche Welle report. Coronavirus, Merkel in fresh plea to stay at home amid record infection tally. German Chancellor Angela Merkel warned citizens to stay at home and reduce social contact to an absolute minimum on Saturday, following another notable rise in the number of infections. We are not powerless against the virus, our behavior determines how strongly and how quickly it spreads. And the order of the day for all of us is, reduce contacts. Meet a lot fewer people, Merkel said in her weekly video podcast.
Thank you for watching 5 p.m. Recap. To be notified, you can subscribe our channel and activate the bell.